Hello everyone. Today in this new tutorial we are going to learn a completely different game which I haven't covered in any of these tutorials till now. It may help you in some of your game when you're creating things like fruit falling games or things falling from the sky and so on. So for this I'm going to add a new project first. I will not continue in the same project as I have already added a lot of scenes in my project, so I don't want to continue with this anymore. So I'm going to go to file and create a new project. It's getting saved by default in this path, which I don't want because I want to save it on my desktop. So choose folder, and I have already made a folder called as fruit falling game. So I will be choosing this and clicking on open. So now as you see it will save in that folder, and empty game because I want to create everything from scratch in this game. And as you see it says click to add a new scene. There's no scene right now. I'm going to rename this to let's say main scene for now. We can always change it later on, unless and until we have coded for changing the scene, and we then have to rename this also. So main, yeah, I think I'm going to keep like that. um, Now let's go and start putting things over here. The very first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to change the scene color. Let's make it a simple blue color like this. As I told you, every time blue is my favorite color, so most of the times you will see I will end up keeping everything in blue color. By the way guys, as you see here there is something called as Windows title, so just give some nice name to this. So I'm going to say fruit falling game. Where you will show this, I will show you after some time where you can see this. Okay, click on OK. And after this I'm going to add some object. So let me quickly add a sprite which will fall from the sky. So for now I'm going to name it as fruit, and I'm going to add animation, and instead of taking a picture from the internet I'm going to just draw it over here quickly. You can do either way. If you want to draw it, you can draw. If you want to make your own sprites, you can make your own sprites. I'm going to take orange for now. I want to make it look like orange. Let's draw it like this, and then just to make it more interesting I'm going to draw in green color, little bit darker side like this. Yeah, I'm going to draw like this some leaf effect. Okay, and then click on, oh, 1 second, we can also fill this because it's looking empty right now. So we can take a bucket, change the color to this orange and fill it, and then save. So as you see this kind of looks like orange, not exactly, but yeah. And also I'm not going to add any loop to this, but I will be adding a behavior as I want it to fall. And as you know, to make something fall we need gravity for that, right? And also we have covered in the previous videos how platform characters can give gravity by default to the, oh wait, I took platform, by the way, platform or character I have to take. So I'm going to delete this and click on add behavior and take platform or character. As you see it by default comes with this gravity option which makes it to fall. Again you can decide the gravity and the maximum falling speed and so on, but for now I'm going to keep it as it is and click on apply. So what I'm going to do is, obviously if I put one fruit over here like this and if I play this game, this fruit will simply fall once and then it stops, right? Because I haven't really given any condition or any event where I want the fruit to again and again drop from here. Now this is what is the main feature of this game, and this is what makes this code a little bit different than a regular code. So I'm going to delete this for now. First understand one thing. When you go to project manager in game settings, you will see in the property panel over here that it will show you the overall width and the height of this window of your game. Okay, so if you see the width is 800 and the height is 600. You can always increase or decrease it, but I'm going to keep it same right now. Now what does it show? So guys, the width is the x axis and the height is the y axis. Okay, so as you see it says 100. That means I'll show you how it look. Wait, let me increase and show you. You have seen the regular, let's make it 1000. You have seen the regular width, okay, and regular height. I'm going to apply this and let's go and preview this game now. If you see, if you observe carefully, my width has changed, the height still remains the same. Now whenever this particular window opens for the preview, the origin is here guys. Always remember, like the graph coordinates, it has the origin, right? In this case the origin is here, and from this corner till here the straight line, horizontal straight line, is your x-axis, and this vertical straight line is your y-axis. So why this is important you will understand in few minutes when I start adding the events and the actions. But please remember that origin is here, and this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis, and over here in the game settings, in properties, you can change the height and the width. I'm going to keep it 1000 for now as I have changed. And also if you see there is author name over here, I can give my name as author name. And click on apply. So now let's understand how this works. So I will be going to my coding area. So I will be going to, one second, the main event. As you see there is no event right now. Let's add a new event. Now if you see here, what I want to do, I want to randomly create these fruits and they should fall from random position. That's the whole idea, that's the whole logic. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, and since something is going to fall, that is not a condition, that's an action directly, right? So we'll go to action, and obviously we want the fruit to fall. So let's take the fruit, and what we want to do is, we want these fruits to get created first of all from different places, right? Because they are not created only, we're not going to add them manually one by one on the screen. That really doesn't make sense. So you will go on fruit, you'll go on create an object. Now when you click on create an object, it will ask you at which position you want to create that object. So I want to create it randomly. I don't want to give any specific x position or y position. So instead of writing some coordinate directly over here, I'm going to click on this summation sign, which will take me to this set of options. I will go for random, and in random I'm going to go for random integer in a range, because let's say if I want the fruit to fall randomly from this particular corner to this particular corner, right? So this is a range. And why integer? Because on this number line the coordinates or the pixels are in the form of integers. Now I can decide the minimum value, so I'm going to keep the minimum value as 0. As I told you, that is the top left corner of my window, and the maximum value I'm going to keep it as 950, little less than 1000. You can try with 1000 also, no problem. Similarly for my y-axis, I'm going to go to random integer in a range, and the minimum value I'm going to keep is 0, again the top left corner, and the maximum value will not be 600 because I don't want my characters to get generated from the floor. It should give it a feel that it's generating from the top, from the sky, right? So I'm going to keep it 200 for now. So little chunk up will be used for generating this particular, sprite. And then I'll click on apply and OK. Now let's go and check how this works. Okay, it's working quite good if you see, but the problem here is, if you see there are so many fruits randomly falling like this. Do you really want your game to look like this, clustered? No. So that means we need to now add some condition that how these fruits should fall and when they should fall, right? So for this we are going to learn a new thing which is called as timer. Timer will play a very important role here, because timer will decide after how many seconds these fruits will be generated randomly. Okay, so how do you add a timer? To add a timer, you first need to go to add condition, go to other conditions, and there is an option over here, timers and time. Click on this and value of a scene timer. Click on value of a scene timer and time in seconds. So what time do you want to give in seconds? Let's say I want after every 2-3 seconds. Okay, let's say 3 seconds. I'm going to give some name also. So let's say fruit falling timer. Okay, and double quotes and click on OK. So what I have done is I have created a timer which will every time after 3 seconds reset. But have I done coding for resetting it? No. So I need to reset the timer. So for this I will go to action and I'll go to other action. I'll go to timers and time, and there is an option called as reset or start a scene timer. I'll click on this and put the same name, exactly the same name, fruit. Okay, I forgot the name. Fruit falling. Make sure that the name is exactly the same, even the capital letter and the small letter. I hope I'm correct. If not, we'll come back and change it. Fruit falling timer. Okay. Fruit falling timer with capital FFT. Yeah, it looks the same. Guys, remember, if there is even one small tiny difference, this will not work. So the name of the timer should match exactly. Okay, and then click on play over here, and okay, the fruits are getting generated, but I think 3 seconds timer is too much. Is this too much? We'll make it 1 second. Okay, so let's stop this. So simply go here and delete this and make it 1. So now after every 1 second the fruit will fall. As you can see, it's a platformer object, so there's a gravity and it is getting generated up because I have used the y axis only from 0 to 200, as you can see here. So only from this particular section maximum the fruits will be generated, and in the x-axis I have almost covered the whole width of this window, and it should work properly. It is working properly. So I hope you understood how to use a timer, how to reset a timer, and how to initiate a fruit falling game. I will make a couple of more videos in the continuation of this to teach you a few more stuff which will help you in making a complete fruit falling game with the scoreboard and with other stuff. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the video and you learned something from this. Have a good day. Bye bye. Take care.